If you were cursed with a mind that sees too much, would you still care to move? Some of the smartest people you know, the ones with sharp minds, quick wit, and an uncanny ability to see through illusions, seem strangely unmotivated. They drift through life full of potential yet unwilling to chase anything. Why? Is it arrogance? A lack of discipline? Or something deeper, something hidden in the nature of intelligence itself? Today we're pulling back the curtain on a paradox no one talks about. The secret burden of intelligence, the hidden weight of knowing too much, and why for many the gift of intellect becomes a trap. This isn't just a theory, it's a pattern, a cycle that has played out across history, among philosophers, inventors, and great thinkers. It's why some of the most brilliant minds like Nikola Tesla, Fernando Pessoa, and Emile Cioran struggled with motivation, slipping into states of inertia while lesser minds conquered the world. By the end of this, you'll understand why intelligence often leads to inaction, how society misunderstands laziness in the highly gifted, and most importantly, how to break free from this prison of the mind. Now let's go back, way back, to the ancient roots of this dilemma, because this struggle isn't new. It's been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. Throughout history, intelligence and laziness have walked hand in hand. It's an uncomfortable truth. We imagine great minds as tireless workers, relentless in their pursuit of knowledge. But reality tells a different story. Socrates, one of history's greatest thinkers, spent his days wandering Athens, talking, questioning, and disturbing the status quo. Did he build empires? Did he command armies? He simply thought. And yet his mind reshaped civilization. Then there's Diogenes, the cynic philosopher who rejected society entirely. He lived in a barrel, ridiculed ambition, and mocked those who sought power. When Alexander the Great, the most powerful man on earth, offered him anything he desired, Diogenes simply replied, "Move. You're blocking my sunlight." Brilliance does not always drive action. Sometimes it resists it. But why? The answer lies in an ancient struggle, the battle between the mind and the world. Imagine you were born in a cave, surrounded by shadows. One day, you find a way out. You see the sun, the sky, the vastness of reality beyond the cave. Then you return to tell the others. Would they listen? Would they celebrate you? They would call you mad. They would resist, mock, even attack you. This is the story of Plato's allegory of the cave, a metaphor for knowledge and its burden. When you see too much, the world stops making sense. Simple struggles that drive others, money, power, status, feel empty. And when nothing feels worth pursuing, what do? Nothing. Many intelligent people arrive at this crossroads. They see through the illusion of success, the hamster wheel of productivity, the game of human ambition, and so they hesitate. They withdraw. They stop moving. History is filled with great minds crushed under the weight of their own awareness. 19th century philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer believed that the more one understands life, the less one desires to participate in it. He wrote, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom. For it is only when he is alone that he is really free." Schopenhauer's intelligence isolated him. Like many thinkers before and after him, he saw the flaws in human nature too clearly, the corruption, the foolishness, the futility of most ambitions. And so he chose solitude over action, thought over participation. Is this laziness? Or is it simply the price of seeing too much? Many intelligent people find themselves here, standing at the edge of effort, wondering if it's worth stepping forward. But there's more to this story, because intelligence is not just a burden. It's also a weapon, a tool, and if used correctly, it can break this cycle. But first, we need to understand the 5 core reasons why intelligence breeds inaction. What stops an intelligent mind from acting? What turns potential into paralysis? The answer lies in 5 mental traps, patterns of thought that pull gifted individuals into a cycle of inaction. Let's break them down. Trap number 1. Effort seems pointless. Most people struggle to understand. They work hard, fail, try again, and slowly improve. This struggle builds discipline. It creates effort. But for the highly intelligent, understanding comes effortlessly. Concepts that take others years to master can be grasped in minutes. This creates a problem. When things come easy, effort feels unnecessary. There's no need to push. no reason to struggle. And when you don't struggle, you don't build the habit of persistence. Over time, this turns into a passive mindset. If I can do it any time, why do it now? Days turn into weeks, weeks into years. The mind remains sharp, but nothing is built. No skills, no discipline, no momentum. This is the first trap, where intelligence kills effort before it begins. Trap number 2, too many talents, no direction. What happens when you're good at everything? For most people, life is a narrow path. They find one thing they're good at and follow it. A single skill becomes their career, their identity, their purpose. But for the highly intelligent, choosing just one path feels like a prison. They can write. They can solve problems. They can understand science, business, music, art. And because they have so many options, they choose none. They wander between interests, never settling, never committing. This creates a sense of perpetual indecision, where every choice feels like a sacrifice and no single path is satisfying enough to pursue long-term. Trap number 3, the curse of awareness. The sharper your mind, the more you notice. Patterns, flaws, inefficiencies. The hidden cracks in everything. This is both a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it allows you to see opportunities others miss. A curse because it makes everything feel broken, meaningless, or doomed to fail. Many brilliant minds become stuck in melancholy because they see the flaws in the world too clearly. They see corruption in politics, greed in business, mediocrity in leadership. They understand that most systems are built on illusion, that success often rewards deception over skill. And so they hesitate. They ask, if the world is broken, why should I bother playing the game? This mindset, left unchecked, leads to nihilism, the belief that nothing truly matters. And from nihilism comes inaction. Trap number 4, isolation and frustration. Human beings are social creatures. We learn through teamwork, through struggle, through competition. But for the highly intelligent, this process is often frustrating. Working with people who don't think as fast, explaining things that seem obvious, dealing with inefficiencies, bureaucracy, and systems that operate at a slower speed than their minds. This frustration leads to withdrawal. They stop engaging, stop collaborating, stop putting themselves in situations where they have to slow down for others. The result? Isolation. And isolation leads to stagnation. Trap number 5, seeing better ways but lacking power. Intelligent people don't just follow instructions. They question them. They see better ways to do things. Smarter methods, more efficient systems. But intelligence does not equal influence. A brilliant employee might see a better way to run a company, but they have no authority to change it. A gifted thinker might have revolutionary ideas, but no resources to bring them to life. This creates a painful contradiction, where intelligence sees the path forward, but reality refuses to move. Many give up. They stop trying. They learn to live with the frustration of seeing more but doing less. So what now? Intelligence can be a prison, but it can also be a weapon. In the next section, we'll break down how to escape these mental traps, how to take back control, reignite effort, and turn raw intelligence into real-world power. A sharp mind is like a blade. Left unused, it rusts. Left unchecked, it cuts the one who wields it. 5 traps we explored: effortlessness, indecision, awareness, isolation, and powerlessness are not permanent. They are mental constructs, patterns of thinking that can be rewired. How? By using intelligence against itself. Let's break down the antidotes, how the highly intelligent can escape stagnation and reclaim their drive. Solution number 1, manufacture struggle. First trap, effortlessness, kills motivation at its root. If something is easy, there's no reason to push. So, what's the fix? Artificial difficulty. The most intelligent minds in history didn't just pursue knowledge. They pursued challenges beyond their natural limits. Einstein struggled with mathematics. Da Vinci forced himself into fields he wasn't naturally gifted in. The key is self-imposed obstacles. Situations where intelligence alone isn't enough. Learn a skill that requires physical effort. Martial arts, instrument mastery, craftsmanship. Enter an arena where intellect alone won't guarantee success. Business, leadership, real-world problem solving. Commit to something public, where the risk of failure forces you to follow through. When struggle is manufactured, effort returns. Solution number 2, the 1-year rule for multi-potential minds. Intelligent people often drown in their own talents. They start everything, finish nothing. The fix? The 1-year rule. Instead of chasing multiple passions at once, choose one field and commit to it for exactly 1 year. No exceptions. Why 1 year? It's long enough to force mastery. It prevents the constant dopamine rush of new interests. It builds discipline over curiosity. At the end of the year, reassess. If it's not the right fit, switch. But never quit before the year is up. This method turns scattered genius into focused execution. Solution number 3, accept the broken world, then play the game. Anyway, awareness is a curse. Seeing the world's flaws can paralyze action. The antidote? Strategic participation. History's greatest minds didn't ignore corruption, mediocrity, or inefficiency. They worked around them. Tesla didn't care for business, but he still had to deal with businessmen like Edison and Westinghouse. Seneca despised Roman politics, but he still advised emperors. Da Vinci saw the corruption of power, but he still worked for powerful men. The world isn't perfect. It never will be. But that doesn't mean you can't move within it. Play the game, learn the system, then bend it from within. Solution number 4, leverage others, don't avoid them. Many intelligent people isolate themselves, frustrated by slower minds. But history shows that greatness is never built alone. Steve Jobs needed Wozniak. Tesla needed financiers. Da Vinci needed patrons. Instead of avoiding people, leverage them. Find executors. People who are great at doing what you overthink. Learn the art of influence, communication, persuasion, leadership. Delegate tasks so you can focus on what you do best. A brilliant mind without a team is just a thinker. A brilliant mind with a team becomes unstoppable. Solution number 5, power comes from action, not ideas. Final trap, the frustration of seeing better ways but lacking power, is solved with a simple truth. Ideas are worthless. Execution is everything. The world isn't run by the smartest. It's run by those who act, who build, who persist. For the highly intelligent, this means one thing: bias towards action. Have an idea? Test it immediately? See a better way? Prototype it now. Feel frustration? Channel it into motion. Power is not given, it is taken. And it is taken through consistent, relentless action. Knowing is not enough. We must do. We've unraveled the mental traps. We've uncovered the antidotes. But now comes the real challenge: application. In the next section, we'll break down exact, practical steps that can be applied today. Strategies to break free from laziness and transform intelligence into unstoppable momentum. Knowing isn't enough. Understanding the traps of intelligence is useless unless you do something about them. And that's where most brilliant minds fail. They overanalyze, overthink, and get lost in theories. The real challenge? Action. Here's how to take intelligence and transform it into momentum, discipline, and real-world impact. Starting today. Step 1. The 5-minute rule. Destroying perfectionism. One of the biggest reasons intelligent people don't start? They want things to be perfect. The book must be groundbreaking. The business must be revolutionary. The project must be flawless. And because perfection is impossible, they do nothing. The fix? 5-minute rule. Whatever you want to do, start it for just 5 minutes. No overthinking, no planning, no waiting. Open the document. Write the first sentence. Pick up the instrument. Play one note. Make the first call. Send the first message. Why does this work? Because action kills resistance. Once you start, even for 5 minutes, momentum takes over. Step 2. The public commitment hack. Forcing consistency. Intelligent minds are great at reasoning their way out of things. I don't feel ready yet. I need to do more research. I'll start when I have more time. Solution? Make it public. Tell a friend you'll send them a draft by Friday. Announce online that you're launching something in 30 days. Join a group where people expect you to show up. Why? Because accountability hacks the brain. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on external pressure, which works far better. Step 3. The pain investment method. Making quitting expensive. The brain avoids pain. You can use this to your advantage. Put money on the line. Invest in a coach, course, or tool. Something that costs enough to make quitting painful. Create consequences. If you don't meet your goal, donate money to a cause you hate. Use social risk. Tell people whose opinion matters that you're doing this. Now, quitting would mean embarrassment. When quitting is painful, action becomes the only option. Step 4. The daily one hard thing rule. Most intelligent people avoid hard, uncomfortable tasks. They stick to thinking, planning, analyzing, safe mental work. Fix this by adopting the one hard thing rule. Every day, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Send that pitch, make that difficult phone call. Face rejection. Get out of theory and into execution. Over time, this rewires your brain. You stop avoiding discomfort. You start associating action with growth. Step 5. The reverse dopamine trick. Rewiring laziness. Intelligent minds crave stimulation, entertainment, endless knowledge, new ideas. This leads to dopamine addiction. Constantly consuming but never creating. The solution? Flip the reward system. No dopamine unless you create first. Want to scroll? Write 100 words first. No entertainment unless you act. Want to watch a movie? Finish your task first. Tie rewards to output. Only allow yourself fun after doing meaningful work. Over time, this retrains your brain to associate dopamine with action, not distraction. Step 6. The Year of Mastery Challenge. Eliminating indecision. Intelligent people jump from interest to interest, never committing. The solution? A fixed timeline. Pick one skill or project. Commit for exactly 1 year. No switching, no quitting before the year is up. Why does this work? Because time-bound commitment forces mastery. It removes the endless internal debate and replaces it with focus and depth. Step 7. The execute or eliminate rule. Overcoming overthinking. Brilliant minds hold on to too many ideas. They collect concepts, theories, and plans, none of which ever happen. The fix? If an idea isn't executed, it gets eliminated. Set a deadline. If you don't act on it within 7 days, it's gone. Keep an idea graveyard, a list of discarded ideas so your brain stops obsessing over them. Ask, will this idea still matter in a year? If not, drop it. This forces immediate action. No more hoarding ideas, no more endless thinking. Either you act or you let it go. Final step, the momentum rule. Never stop moving. Intelligence becomes a curse when it leads to paralysis. The only way out? Constant forward motion. Small action beats big planning. Start before you're ready. Done is better than perfect. Every great thinker who changed the world didn't just think. They moved, they acted, they built. Now it's your turn. You don't need more knowledge. You need more action. In the final section, we'll wrap up everything. The last words that will push you over the edge, out of thought, into action. A mind without motion is a prison. The only way out is forward. You know the traps, you know the solutions, but now comes the only part that matters. What will you do? Most people watching this will nod, agree, maybe even feel inspired. Then they'll do nothing. They'll return to thinking, planning, waiting for the right moment. But the truth is brutal. The right moment never comes. The only moment is now. The 3 paths from here. Right now, you stand at a crossroads. Path number 1. You do nothing. You let this knowledge fade. You go back to thinking instead of acting. In a month, nothing changes. In a year, you're in the same place. Path number 2. You take small, inconsistent action. Try a few things, but you stop when it gets hard. You let old habits creep back in. In a year, you've made progress, but nowhere near your potential. Path number 3. You fully commit. No more overthinking. No more waiting. You pick a path, take the first step today, and build momentum that never stops. 1 year from now, the version of you that chose path number 3 will look back at today and realize, this was the moment everything changed. Here's your test. You have 24 hours. Pick one thing from this video. Act on it immediately. No waiting, no hesitating. Make it public. Tell someone. Post about it. Create external pressure. If you fail to act in 24 hours, nothing will change. Not tomorrow, not next month, not next year. But if you act now, you break the cycle. The difference between the brilliant people who change the world and the ones who don't? Action. Now, the question is simple. Which one will you be? If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. because intelligence is wasted when it stands still, and too many brilliant minds are trapped in their own thoughts. The world doesn't need more thinkers, it needs more doers. Move.